Okay, hi YouTube. I'm gonna continue my videos tonight. I wasn't able to get any more done last night because I got home and my husband was asleep and I didn't want to wake him up. So I'm outside of a meeting my husband had to go to, waiting for him, so I figured I'd just make a video or two. My dogs are with me and they're gonna howl and whine and bark and everything else that they do. I'm a little stressed out today. Finding this place was fun. That's all I'm gonna say is it was fun. Anyway, I'm going to go through like the last 3 or 4 years of what I've been doing to try to keep weight off, and once that didn't work, to try to take it back off and all this stuff. It's been never-ending fun. So I had the band removed in February of 2009, and probably went up to, I think, maybe 145, which, like I've said before, is not a bad weight for me, but it's just, I'm not comfortable at 145. It's just an uncomfortable weight. And I wanted to get back to 120, and you know, it was 25 pounds. You know, how hard does that take off? And you would think it would be easy, but I never did get back down to the 120s. I had a gym membership at 24 Hour Fitness, and I was going there, and I managed to get myself down to, I think, 132. I think was the lowest I managed to get myself to. And I decided that leaving my ex was probably the best thing for me to do, because as I've said before, he was just, when it came to me, he was just horrible. Maybe it's some things I had done before, I'm not really sure, but he was just not a nice person. So I decided to leave him, and then I found out, you know, my husband was interested in me, and he liked to work out. You know, that was one of the things I couldn't get my ex to do, is go to the gym with me, even though it was free for him to go. He just would not go. All he wanted to do, which is, ironically, I'm making a YouTube video, but that's all he wanted to do. All day long, make 4 or 5 videos a day. And that's all he did. He didn't work. He didn't do anything. So, I got rid of him, and I started seeing my husband. And, you know, my husband, Taylor, would come to the gym with me, and we just had a good time. That was our dates. We're going to the gym. And, he would take me over to his house, and he would cook, you know, quite a bit. And I gotta roll the window up, sorry. He would, you know, cook, and what he would cook was just, you know, a big amount of food. And of course, you know, me being the person that I am, I wouldn't necessarily, you know, turn him down. But he would cook more than I needed to eat, and I would eat it. You know, I'm the type of person, I was raised not to throw food away, and I just, you know, I would tell him, you know, I can't eat that much, and he cooks, he likes to cook for people. And I mean, he cooked good stuff. It wasn't fried stuff. He would cook, like, you know, omelets with vegetables in it and things like that, good stuff. And you know, but we weren't going to the gym every day. And then I was working out with him. I was doing a lot of weightlifting. We were doing a little bit of cardio, but mostly weights. And I was helping him change weights. I had a 45 pound weight in my hand, and I wasn't holding it right, and it came out of my hand, and it landed on my right foot. And, you know, I thought for a second, I was like, you know, just give me a minute, I'll be fine. And I wasn't fine. I took one step and blood just came out of my shoe. So I knew that I was in trouble, and I ended up going to the hospital, had my toenail had to be removed. And the doctor told me then that I couldn't, you know, put any pressure on my foot for a few weeks. So there was going to the gym. Couldn't go to the gym. I didn't have a car. I had to walk everywhere I went or take the bus. And so if I couldn't walk anywhere, going to the gym was out of the question. It wasn't that far, and I would walk there, and it just wasn't, it was out of the question. So, my loving boyfriend, I was upset, wasn't handling the pain meds well. They kept giving me pain meds that had codeine in them, and I'm allergic to Vicodin, Percocet, and a couple other things. But they were giving me codeine, and it was making me feel weird. So, my husband, well, my boyfriend at the time, he was doing his best to take care of me, and he would bring me things like ice cream to make me feel better when I would have a really hard time with it. And, you know, like I said before in one of my other videos, you know, I can't eat the half a pint or a quarter of a pint. I'd have to eat the whole thing. And I was maybe, at this point, I had actually gone up to, I think, 167 by then. And the weight was just adding on because I wasn't doing anything but laying around eating. And before I knew it, I found myself at 195. And I could see what was coming. It was terrible. It was just, it tormented me. I cried. I just knew that he was going to leave me because I was gaining weight. He didn't strike me as the type that wanted an overweight girlfriend, and he didn't. But I mean, he did love me. And, you know, what are you going to do? He didn't, he never treated me bad. He never has. And once my, foot healed up, we started going back to the gym again, and then I started school. January of 2010, I started school, and with doing that all day, I was so tired by the time I got home because it was such a long trip home that, the schoolwork that I had was such an enormous amount. I didn't have time to do anything but study. And if you've ever been in school, you know what I'm talking about. You have a lot of time to study, but getting anything else done is it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So weight just started to pile on. It was sad. I could see it happening, and within the year, I was back to around 250. And, I don't know. I tried. We would have periods where I would go to the gym on weekends, and it just wasn't enough. So when I got done with school, we left Las Vegas, and we ended up moving to Utah. And I couldn't get a job in the medical field. There was not enough jobs for medical assistants. So I ended up working at a phone server. Well, it was they handled AT&T customer service calls. It was called Converges. It was out in St. George, Utah. Or not St. George, I'm sorry. It was Cedar City, Utah. That's where we were living. My in-laws were out in St. George. And so now that I was working, making $10 an hour, my husband was trying to find a job. It was very difficult out in Cedar City. I don't know if anybody watching these is from anywhere in Utah around there, but it's a small city, and when you're competing for a job and you don't have the experience other people have, it's hard to find a job, especially in this economy. So he couldn't find a job, and I was the one working, and we found a Gold's Gym, got a membership there, and we were going every day. And I probably went down to, I think I had gone up to like 265, and I think I had gone down to 245. And things started to fall apart between my in-laws. There was a situation with my mother-in-law that I found out involved me, and kind of really just hurt my feelings, and I didn't want to be there. My husband was miserable, it was just horrible, and I kept telling him we got to come back to Texas. So we came back to Texas, and this was in 2011. This was like March of 2011 when we decided to move away from Utah, and we headed to Texas. And we got here, and both of us were able to find a job, and about the time, let's see, that would have been March. We were both working by April, and then by that July, I had enough of my company. I was working for Subway, and I was making an attempt to not eat, bad things, and I was on my feet all day, working my butt off. I was the assistant manager, and if you knew the company that I worked for here, you would understand why I didn't keep that position. I quit, and I was looking for another job, and there was a situation. I don't want to go into it because I don't want to hear any negative comments about it, but there was a situation where I ended up getting shot at the end of July. Went through the front of my stomach and out my back, missed a lot of arteries on the way, and a lot of veins, a lot of arteries, a lot of organs. I mean, I think it nipped my tailbone. It was like the most damage it did, and so I was very lucky there. And I'm running out of time for this video, so I will end this one here, and I will pick it up right after I got shot. I will pick up with what has been happening since. That would have been August of 2000 and 2012, so it hasn't been that long ago, but I will drop here and I will pick it back up in a few minutes. All right, bye.